There we go. That worked. Hello, everybody. It's the OddCast number 3. We're getting good feedback, aren't we? So we come back.
Well, I'm back, Colin, and you're back, and I know my fan is back. Or rather, it's not my fan, it's our fan. So hello, fan. And today we're not going to do the 4 candles joke, are we, Colin?
We're not going to do the 4 candles joke, but we will start with a joke. And I said I would do one because I got slated, I think, before. So have you heard the one about the clown that walks into the bank with a briefcase?
No.
No. The cashier says, "No funny business."
Do you know what? I'm so glad you didn't tell me that joke before we started recording, because my laughter wouldn't have been quite so spontaneous. And I'd like an Academy Award for laughing. How are you?
I'm good. How are you doing?
I'm all right. But I know you've got a serious theme on today because the detective is.
Yeah, I have. That's
behind you, and you act. So tell me.
My new background. So you remember when we did the first podcast, you said I'm angry. Well, I feel a bit that way today, to be honest. And I was going to title this "Due Diligence Matters" because
I think due diligence matters because I think we need to understand that it's not just a tick box exercise. We don't collect or conduct, which is perhaps a better word, client due diligence, just to
exactly, yeah.
Satisfy regulation. Should we?
No, and I've been conducting due diligence in terms of training investigations for years now, and it all comes from my background in the police, over a decade in terms of due diligence pure. So occasionally when I see headlines like this, and I'm going to read them off my screen: accountants fine £99,000 for breaking AML rules. Over 250 agents fined for AML non-compliance. And these are recent, by the way. HMRC to publish breakdown of where estate agents were fined, received nearly £2 million in AML fines. And then SRA fines firm £17,000 over money laundering breaches, stroke due diligence. And most of them are related to sort of management.
You've got a list up just from the last 24 hours, 48 hours.
Past few weeks, no longer than 3 weeks.
Regulated businesses in regulated industries are failing. And what's their justification? Why aren't businesses?
Well, without going into each individual one,
conducting the clients seriously.
Yeah, it's not great for business, is it? When you look for a particular company and that's going to be there on the, let's say, the whatever website, it's going to be there, isn't it? In the news, for example. So putting that aside for 1 minute, why do, I know you've been involved in that industry, you remain in the industry. Why do you do due diligence, and why is it important to you?
Why am I in the industry?
Well, you can ask. You can ask
first. I think I'm in the industry providing support and services to help firms carry out client due diligence because I can help. I find it very rewarding. At the end of the day, it helps pay my vet bills and my doctor's bills. And I do it because it's a passion. And I think if I'm lucky enough to work in a way where I get paid for my passion, then I'm a very lucky man. But I know from having read about your career, there's more to it than that as well. Because you've worked in some fields that a lot of people don't get to work in, addressing criminals and crime that very few people get to address. And I understand that gives you a different perspective as to why we need to know who we're dealing with.
Absolutely. And
you want to touch on that?
Yeah, I think it's the reason I do it, because it's, in terms of due diligence, it's a great way of preventing illicit money flows. And we often think, or if you ask somebody about what's AML and due diligence all about, they will say drugs. And yes, that's a huge problem. But there's also many cases of child sexual exploitation. For example, there was a huge one in Westpac some years ago, which was linked to the Far East. But it's surely morally the right thing to do to stifle those flows. And to prevent crime.
It's got to be, isn't it? It's got to be, because I've got grandchildren being offered drugs at the school gate. What they do when they're adult is a completely different matter. I know their parents will help them understand the difference between right from wrong. But for me, client due diligence and the firms I work with, I stress this: you're not putting ticks in a box to satisfy a regulator. You're putting ticks in a box to indicate that you're going through a process, which is often ongoing, because it should be transactional, not just one-off. Do you feel you know enough about the risk your client or potential client represents that equates to that's an acceptable level of risk for the amount of reward we're going to get? Because no one should more risk than the reward they're getting. And we should all think about, how much risk am I willing to take?
Exactly. And I get there's a commercial element to this. People are in business to make money, of course. But let me just convey something that sort of really flagged this.
Colin, I've seen this.
I reached out to a professional organisation. I won't name who they are, but they are regulated, they're in that area. Say, look, we offer this training. It might be of interest to you. And the response came back quite quickly: this is of no interest to us. I'm just completely and utterly bewildered.
Well, off the OddCast recording, I know you've told me who that organisation is, and that's an membership, and expect its membership to work in a certain way and maintain a code of professional conduct. And then you think, well, if the answer you've received is that's of no interest to us because we've already got it covered, then those headlines you went to begin with probably would be different, as in that professional body and its members might not be featured amongst that headline. But when we talk about different professional bodies of different professionals, bringing the whole raft of them, we bring in investment managers, we bring in bankers, and I've got to say that carefully. We bring in trust and corporate service providers, we bring in everybody, high value goods dealers.
All sorts. These
people, and they're our clients, and they're us, they're members of our society where we live, need to take it seriously, because there's a lot of real crime happening, which is undesirable crime, and I'm using a euphemism there to be trying to be polite, that we need to address. Left me not despondent, but you left me feeling serious. And I know the fan says, keep this punchy, Collins. Keep it on point. Keep it to the point where we go away wanting to find out more about how we can do things better. So for me, that's client due diligence matters, because it matters. It matters.
We've all got responsibilities, regardless of where we are in the whole sort of spectrum. But that's 8.5. So we did say we'd try and limit it today, didn't we? Keep it punchy. But what I
know what you mean by that's 8.5, Colin. I really do, and I know you're going to go away and edit this. So good luck with the editing. But I just want to say, last week I demoted you, and I'm very sorry.
I'm really, that's a long time ago. But
not everybody understands, in the thousands of people who watch this cast, that I demoted you, and I shouldn't have done that. And that wasn't scripted, which is why you're smiling.
You are forgiven.
Ladies and gentlemen, in the spirit of the two Colins.
Yes.
And you must wait for casserole cooking with Colins. That's over and done with from me. Thank you.
And it's good night from me, and feel free to comment. We love the debate. Thanks for listening.
And Colin's background is magnificent, isn't it?
Love it.
And the screen behind it.
Right. Okay. There we go. Let's find the off button.